Hi, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about dreaming of passed on loved ones. Sometimes spirit will give us a dream by association. So, what that means is spirit is trying to give you a message about something that you've been asking for and what needs to change, and you associate that person with a certain situation. So, if that person was super free spirited, spirit could be telling you that you need to be more open to new situations and new changes for whatever you want to come in. Or if that person was super tight with their money, maybe you need to be more tight with your money. Or the opposite could go where you need to be more responsible, or you need to be more willing to go out and do things and spend your money. So it could be based off association. So if anything, if you're asking for something and you just want an answer, spirit could be giving you this person, trying to just remind you, like, hey, this is what you need to do to get to this place. And you really associate that person with something. So sometimes spirit is just trying to communicate with you, and they will use that person to associate something. Other times, it is a real connection, and that person is coming through just to have a conversation with you. And how to know it's real is like you're really aware of the situation. It's super vivid, and you remember it. Like upon waking, you'll feel that person's presence next to you. For me, for example, nobody had really passed in my life before this. I had a dream about my cat who had passed, and I had called my mom and I was like, "Hey, is like our cat okay? Like I had a really bad dream about our cat." And she's like, "Actually, like we haven't seen her in a few days. We're getting a little worried." And my mom actually was hanging out in her room, and she was awake, but she seen our cat like jump from the table off and then like disappear. And she was just like, "What the heck? Like, am I seeing things? Like, what's going on?" And this was before she like got into spiritual stuff. So she was just like, "What the heck?" But she didn't like think anything of it. Like she thought maybe she was just seeing something, or like maybe the cat got off like fast. Like she didn't really know. But this was before the cat had like gone officially like missing. So she didn't think much of the situation. And then I had called her. And then shortly after that, they had found out that the cat had passed. I'm not sure what happened because I was like younger, but that was crazy that had happened because I just felt like she was just like saying her goodbyes to us. And then I've also had a dream about my husband's grandpa who had passed. I only had ever met him one time, and he had come through in a dream of mine after he had passed, like shortly after he passed. And like I said, I've only met him one time. And so I was super scared of him. And I was like, I told him, I was like, "You're not supposed to be here." And he was like, "No, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm here. I'm nice. Like, I just want to talk to you. I just want you to tell your husband that, like, I love him, blah, blah, blah." And then I was like, okay. But I was just really scared of the situation. And I forced myself to wake up because I was freaking out. And I actually didn't even tell my husband till months later because I didn't know how he was going to feel about that, because I didn't, for me, now I for sure know it was him, but I always went back and forth and questioned myself. But like I said, I met him one time, and I'd always go back and forth and question myself, like, but now I know for sure, like, it was him, it was real. Uh, and I was so scared to tell my husband. I remember just being really scared, and when I finally had, like, told him about it, he was just like, "I wish you would have told me sooner. Like, I if that ever happens again, like, please talk to him. Let me know what he has to say." And ever since, that happened, I have really put it out to the universe that if he ever wants to come through again, that I am available to, receive messages, because I was younger at the time and I was super scared. This was like a while, like when we had first started dating. So I was super nervous to even talk about his grandpa. And secondly, I don't know why his grandpa would have came to me, but I know that I was probably more spiritually open, even though I didn't know it, than my husband was at the time. So I definitely put it out there now, though. If he ever wants to communicate messages, I am here willing to take any messages in. It hasn't happened, but it would be awesome if it did again. So also what that means is like like I said, you're just super aware of the situation. It's super vivid, like you remember it upon waking. That doesn't mean that you won't forget it throughout the day, but you normally will like remember it upon waking, and you'll really feel their presence next to you, and you'll just know that that was them. you like me, you might go back and forth, but you'll just really know that like they were there. It was super real and vivid, and you could just, the situation goes on like nothing, like it flows really easy. You guys are just acting like nothing had happened. It's just picking up where you had left off, and you just feel that person, like you can really feel them. It just feels super real. Everything around you feels real. The situation, what you guys are communicating with each other, because when you're having dreams, dreams go kind of like a little wild. Sometimes they'll take you here, they'll take you there, or something. It's just out of the ordinary, right? But when you're communicating with a passed on loved one, it's super real, and everything around you looks really real and feels real. And you're aware of the situation. Your subconscious isn't technically like in control, like your mind is with you and you have control of that. And um, not to say that like you like you don't know that, like, because you'll still be sleeping and you'll know that you're sleeping, but you just know, like you'll know that that person has passed, and why, like you're like, oh, like you're not supposed to be here, but here you are, and you're very open and welcoming to them, especially if it's your passed on loved one. You are definitely happy to see them. My dog has visited me a couple times, and every time I have never been scared of my dog. He was my first childhood dog, and he had passed away, and he has visited me, and I know every time I'm just like, oh, like you're not supposed to be here, and I will know that to myself. Like it's crazy. I will always say like, oh, I know you're not supposed to be here, but like, oh my gosh, like, and he just looks exactly the way that he did to me. Like he's his like grown puppy self, and I love every time he comes to visit me. He doesn't visit me very often, but when he does, I get really excited. And he passed about I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, and I have only had a handful of dreams about him, but I get so excited every time I do. Um, and I just know that like he's coming to visit me, and that's why I'm just saying like you'll know that it is a super real and vivid situation. So you'll remember it upon waking, and you'll really feel their energy, and you'll just be happy that they came and visited you. And most of the time, they have a message for you. So, like I said in my previous video, make sure that you write down what you guys are talking about or what is around you, and you can ask this person to give you specific signs. You guys can have like a sign where this person gives you a sign about a situation. So if you're really needing their advice, you can ask them like, what's your sign? Like if I need advice and I am really compromised about a situation, can you give me a sign? And they can come through and make sure that you write that down, that sign, because they will always give you that. And you just need to be watching out for it. So that was dreaming of passed on loved ones. I hope everybody enjoyed this video.